Hi, friends.
Hey friends!
All right.
We have a lot of things with us today.
We do. We brought all the show and tell things and put them in the kitchen because we're going to talk about sustainability.
Yeah, so I think last time we saw you guys, we talked about conscious buying and kind of voting with your wallet, and just being a conscious consumer, which
Yes.
we both are. And we found that we had that in common right when we met. And so we thought we would bring all of our favorite things to you and tell you about some of our eco-friendly swaps or I don't know, favorite things that we have found along the way through our conscious buying journey.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
It does sound right.
Okay.
And also, I also want to preface the whole episode by saying that I completely recognize that each one is kind of an individual choice. Neither one of us are completely perfect. We, just by virtue of what products are available, our houses still have plenty of plastic that we end up having to try to recycle, or that we know end up in landfills. Sometimes it's a price point issue.
Mhm.
I just want to say I recognize that some people need they need Walmart pricing, or they want to go to Willow and West or whatever, whether that's to support the local business or they just need cheaper pricing because they have kids that they're raising or whatever. So you can make little choices.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be, I mean, you can't even see everything that's on this kitchen counter. It's tons of stuff. But I thought maybe we could kind of go room by room and we'll talk about what we were surprised we kind of overlapped. And then there are some things that I learned about this morning and other things that I was showing you that we use at our house that you could consider.
Yeah. And also want to preface this by saying it's not a perfect science. And there are things that we've tried or I've tried and I have found that I like something better, or I have gone back to the original or whatever, or that it's taken me a few tries with a few different brands to get to where I am, and that it's not perfect. Like, I think my motto for all of this is just that I'm always trying to do better than what I was in the past. And so when I call it a journey, it's truly been a journey because it's just like a step that I take every year to do something else, try something else, or save up money to have a swap for something. And it's just not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to claim to be perfect. There are definitely times that I buy plastic on accident or because it's out of necessity or whatever. And so I'm not a spokesperson for...
Yes, we're not getting paid by any brands. I can trust us on that. And also, but it is still, just bringing that full circle, it is funny to me when we started talking about this, the things that we were like, oh my gosh, I do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I just want to start with our first product that we were like, what? I use that too.
Okay, which one? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who gives a crap?
Who gives a crap?
Okay. This is not for everyone based on price point. We totally get it. I found it because a giant box of toilet paper arrived at our house as a Christmas gift from a friend who knows that I like sustainable stuff. And from that moment on, I just said, I want to buy bamboo toilet paper. I love this brand. Every single thing about it is sustainable.
Yeah.
And it's actually a good product.
Yeah.
And I love it so much that when my mom came to visit, she liked it. And now every Christmas, she gets a box.
Oh, I love that.
Which is just such a funny thing.
Yeah.
Other people are, I got an Apple Watch. And I'm like, I got a box of 48 rolls of toilet paper. And I couldn't even be happier. So
you were actually one of only 2 friends that I've ever known or met to use it. And so I get so excited when I find someone else who also has heard of it or uses it.
Yeah, it's hysterical. It's such a basic thing that we all found out during COVID days. Yeah. Super, super important.
Actually, that might have been when I made the switch. So when toilet paper was really hard to find, and there's a YouTuber that I watch who also is very eco-friendly and talks about sustainable swaps. And she was sharing how it's no plastic. And I think she might have said during COVID time when things were hard to get, like, I haven't had a problem getting my stuff. And so I think that's when we switched over. And so there's, I think, 2 different kinds. One is 100% bamboo.
Okay.
And the other might be half and half or something. What I really like about this brand is that 50% of their profits are donated to, let me tell you, just so I get it right, donated to clean water and sanitation nonprofits, which I really like.
Yes. It's kind of a way to, I mean, we don't get to write it off our taxes, but it is like our little contribution. It's like a charitable contribution, but we're still getting something out of the deal.
Yeah. So my mom will shop at Costco and get things in bulk, and she'll always, anytime I'm there, you know, do you need toilet paper? Do you need paper towels? And I'm like, nope, I get it shipped in plastic-free things, and I really like that.
Yes, I know. I love it. And then because this paper is compostable type, the ink and everything, those can go in the recycle box and stuff like that. I
mean, this is an extra level of like really sustainable practices, but the girl that I watch on YouTube, she'll actually take this and like wrap gifts with it and stuff. Like,
it is pretty.
And so, not that I have reached that level of sustainability, it is very pretty. I love having this stuff out, but no, I haven't wrapped anything, but she does. So hey, it's just an idea. So there you go. Who gives a crap?
Yeah. You know, what's funny about, this isn't on the table, but when I was growing up, we used the Color Sunday funny papers. We use that as wrapping paper for birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
It's that's like really fun. And we were kind of, my parents were kind of ahead of their time, I think. You know, we took all the aluminum cans to the iron mill. We took all the glass bottles. There was a big bin at a church in town. There was, we had a huge compost because we had a huge garden. And, and we used funny papers.
And actually,
for wrapping paper.
That reminds me, I think I've shared with you that one year I went like super sustainable on our wrapping and did all craft paper and fabric. Well, first of all, I save everything. So I save all the gift bags every year and tissue paper if it's in good shape, and boxes and all the things. But like the one year we pulled out fabrics and wrapped things in fabric and just craft paper. And
I love the fabric.
Christmas,
It's so pretty and kind of old fashioned.
Yeah,
and it does remind me of a topic I've been thinking about this week, because we know that we read on the internet, the local pages and stuff, all the time about people complaining about the economy. And I'm not saying that the economy isn't a problem. However, we still see the long lines at every drive-through in this town. And who was it who just sent us an article about how food waste is so huge in this country. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I bet you those people in the Burger King parking lot are not home finishing their, like...
That's true. Yeah, sure. Or like thinking creatively, like if I can't afford wrapping paper this year, like what can I use in my house already? Like I'm always thinking, how can I reuse something in my home already before going out to buy it? And so maybe it's just a little more like creative problem solving.
Yes. Yes, that is the nice positive spin on it. And also it just supports my need to, like, that's a great box. We should put it in the basement and save it.
Right.
Or that's a great bag. I might need to carry something somewhere.
Yes.
Even though we have 100 reusable bags.
Sure. That's part of the reuse in our reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. So that brings me to this other thing we have in common, which we both brought to the table. We did not, as usual, we didn't plan this episode.
We did not tell each other what we were doing.
So, but we did both bring, and also I know you have these as well, even though it's not on the table.
I don't have them here, but I do have produce bags as well. Yes. And one year I think in the package of that, it was like triple of everything or double of everything. So I also gave like my mother-in-law some and my mom some, and just share, you know, I'm always like, hey, try this thing.
Yes. And that's what I have a couple girlfriends. And when we do have gift giving occasions, it's usually, hey, I tried this new thing, which many things on here started out as gifts that somebody said, here, try this. And I took it on. But these are great because we don't have to use the plastic produce bags for fruits and vegetables. They weigh nothing, and you just use these instead, and they fit right in the bottom. I mean, I do see a lot of people use, you know, the reusable shopping bags.
Yes.
Canvas or these. I just keep them in my car with these in the bottom.
Yes. Okay. And so, well, I'm going to tangent for a second. I feel like when I first started getting into this, it was hard to remember to get them back in my car. And so sometimes I would be like, oh, shoot, they're on the door handle, and they never made them back to my car. Yeah. But now what I do is I have enough that I always can have some hanging on the door ready to go out. And if I were to forget them, I still always have enough in my car.
Yes. We have so many. It's the same. There's always some in the car you can trust, but you're going to find a pile, you know, by the garage door or whatever.
And so I was introduced to these by my mom, literally probably back in the 90s. Yep. So hers were, you know, like navy and burgundy, and she's got like mustard yellow colors, and hers were lasting her. I mean, she's had the same one since the 90s, I think. Like, I grew up with these, and I remember everyone always commenting at the register saying, whoa, those hold way more than they look. I mean, they fill up, they stretch out, like you can get so much in there. And everyone was always amazed. I cannot for the life of me remember where my mom got them from, because of course now it's like everything is, you know, Amazon, online, whatever. So that's where I found these, but hers are still being used to this day.
Yes. Well, they're nice because they're cotton and you can wash them. And so, you know, if the orange is juicy or whatever is in the bottom,
you just throw them in the wash.
It's nice.
Exactly.
They're very
so we love not using plastic bags at the grocery store. It's 2024. I think it's crazy that we even still have plastic bags at the register.
Yes.
And I love this swap. So that's that there.
Same.
What do we want to move to next?
Well, just talking about plastic bags. We use them for two different things, but we both brought them to the table. So I will tell you, Mike is retired and I work from home. So we don't have occasion often to need to pack a sandwich for anything. But I do have the silicone bags. I have sandwich size as well, but I took the snack size. We both like to chew gum. And instead of buying the plastic bulk little containers that make me crazy, we try to reduce a little bit. It's imperfect, as we've said, but we buy the bags he likes peppermint. I like spearmint. It can't be easy. So we both have two bags in the pantry. I put mine in my purse, so I like to use the silicone bag. He likes to keep it in the car, so we just pour his into a glass jar.
Love it. Yeah.
And it just keeps us from, I mean, I shudder to think how many of those plastic gum containers we would have thrown out otherwise.
Right. Okay. So, that makes a lot of sense.
But James packs his lunch.
So James, my husband, does pack his lunch pretty much almost every day. And his lunchbox is pretty small. I mean, it's small. And so we used to do his sandwiches in this stasher bag. And they're really easy to wash. You just kind of like put it over some, you can hand wash it or put it over some of your spikes in your dishwasher or whatever, and it comes out clean. What he was finding with the bag is that sometimes the sandwich would still get a little smushed. So James has asked me to share with you one of his favorite swaps, which is a little sandwich container, and it's the exact size of a sandwich that we just like happened to find from I don't know, Crayola package. And he loves this because it doesn't take up any extra room.
Yeah. It has a smaller footprint than the bag.
I mean, almost, yeah, truly. And then it protects his sandwich and it doesn't get smushed. So he does use this specifically for a sandwich, but we still use these for like fruits. If we wanted to put any fruits in the freezer or something, it's going to go in this. If he wanted to pack some nuts or something, it would go in here, or some chips or whatever. I mean, I don't know. We use a plethora of these. And then I just continue to gift these for Christmas because I don't know, my mom's looking to switch from, plastic to something else. And so stasher bags.
Can you imagine how many, between just me, you, and your mom alone on the whole planet, how many plastic sandwich bags we've thrown out in our lifetimes?
So, and this actually is a good lead into something that I used to use sandwich bags for and no longer have to. But when we switched to these, I stopped buying sandwich bags altogether because there was no need, until I started getting into just a little dabbling with some cookie making and decorating and icing them. And then I was using little sandwich bags for my icing because you would make 10 colors at a time. So I'd have 10, different bags of icing. And for Christmas this year, James got me something which I'm not sure ever would have been on my radar. And I just think it was super thoughtful. And that is a reusable icing bag. And so it's silicone, very easy to wash, and you just put your little things in there.
Did we find out, in the olden days, before plastic sandwich bags, were they canvas?
I forgot to look that up, but I'm pretty
fair.
Sure they were like a canvas or a fabric. And, my grandma used to have them, and I remember her just scraping off the icing with a knife or something and give it a quick rinse under the sink, and then it would be reused. But I kind of like this. I feel like I don't know the cleanliness necessarily of a canvas or a fabric. And I love that, silicone can get really clean.
Talking about these reminds me of, I don't know if we've ever on the show talked about how I went to the English nanny and governess school. So as a trained nanny and thinking about all things kids, right? Mm-hmm. It goes so against my tree hugger reusable self when I saw over the years, it's here, take these disposable tray covers for the restaurant and these disposable bibs, and everything was disposable. And I get it. I took care of little kids. But I hated it because I prefer I could just throw a traditional bib in the wash.
Totally.
And, just give me kind of a bigger version of this. You can put the dirty bib in it. It doesn't need to get everything dirty, but,
sure.
So I really liked it. I would say in the past 10 years or so, I've seen a lot of my friends and acquaintances go back to cloth diapers and stuff.
Yes, I have seen that too.
And it really,
I love that.
I love it. I haven't seen that when my sister was a baby in the early 70s. My mom, that's what was available.
Yeah.
And seeing my mom do it, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
However, oh my gosh, the thousands of diapers in the landfill.
Well, that, and just talk about, again, back to economy wise.
Yes.
How much are you saving? Because
so much money. Diapers are so expensive.
Yeah.
It's totally true.
I just want to talk about more washables, or do we?
Yeah, I wanted to. Well, I was thinking if you talk about your beeswax, then I can talk about my cloth covers.
Okay. So along with in the kitchen, some things that we are utilizing are beeswax wraps. And so this is a piece of fabric that was then coated in beeswax to be used over and over and over multiple times to cover food that you want to put in the fridge or whatever. And so we will just take this. Sometimes you can run it under some warm water to kind of, meld better over your bowls and things like that. But then they can just be washed, in the sink, a little Dawn, and it's good to go. And so we reuse these until they get, weird and crumbly. And then it's truly compostable because it's just cotton fabric. And by that point, you've used it to its last leg and you're just putting it in your compost bin.
And there's the million times you haven't had to use aluminum foil or plastic wrap.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what I love about these. My girlfriend gifted me these. They look like shower caps.
They do.
And I have seen different versions of these. I just happen to like the cotton ones.
Easy to wash.
They're easy to wash.
Yeah.
They're easy to handle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just has some elastic and it fits over various size bowls.
Yeah.
And
they're super pretty.
And they're pretty.
Yeah.
So it's nice if you just want to take a little, you're going to a potluck or a barbecue or whatever. I can make my salad, put this over. The bugs aren't getting on it, but I haven't had to come up with a plastic wrap solution, which is key.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
They're fun.
These are super fun. So I think there's so much stuff on this table. There's so much stuff on the table still that we're going to make this a two-parter without even a costume change. We're going to try to make it seamless.
We're just going to go right into it.
But we went to an every other week format because we are very busy and it was hard to keep up once a week, do filming.
Yeah, we both volunteer, with a lot of different things. And this year especially has just been very busy for both of us. And we were finding it really difficult to keep up with the weekly schedule. So we appreciate everyone who has been so kind and willing to continue listening in, even though there's that week break, but it has been a blessing for us.
Yes.
But
there's so much stuff here.
There's so much here. Let's do a quick, maybe like one more thing, and then we'll close out with you guys, and we'll just start a whole new episode. What do we think? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Staying in the kitchen.
We are staying in the kitchen. I brought the olive oil. She brought the avocado
oil. Yep. And so, we kind of made a conscious decision to try and buy glass when possible. James and I have made that decision.
And I didn't know that about them until yesterday when we were talking about this episode. And I said, one of the things at the food store that I literally walk down the aisle of all the olive oil and I tap on them and I will only buy the glass one. And if they don't have glass, I will have to make the extra stop at another food store. I can't stand the thought of an oil product anyway inside of plastic, but in general, and because I did tell you the story about Aldi used to carry a glass jar of applesauce and it was really good. And then they went to plastic. They only carry the plastic one. So now I don't eat their applesauce.
There you go.
So, but
again, this is not a perfect science. Like sometimes there are going to be things that I have to buy in plastic because I can't find it.
Mayonnaise is one of them.
Yeah.
Like condiments, they've really almost exclusively gone.
There are some unusual glass ketchups if you're ever on and James specifically asked for some barbecue sauce the other day and I chose glass again. But go Giant Eagle, they truly have stepped up like the amount of glass jars.
Awesome.
So go Giant Eagle. Yeah.
Yep.
But that also goes along with anything that you could possibly get in glass. So I think I saw that you have vitamins that come in glass.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. So let me keep going with a couple things. One, I try to get vitamins in glass. Again, imperfect. They don't all come that way, or it's not a brand that I trust. I have maybe 3 or 4 top brands that I like to buy. This one happens to come in glass, thank goodness. But along those same lines, I buy my face cream. I put it on after my shower in the morning and I put it on before bed. And I made the decision to go to a brand that packages in these glass bottles. I mean, I still have to throw the tops away, but actually what I do, being me, is like you when you propagate your plants.
Yes.
I take the label off and who knows what'll go in here.
Exactly.
Who knows?
No, for sure.
So,
or even like if you had spices someday that or like dried herbs or something from my garden to you. I mean, you could be reusing that for that and put it in your cabinet
there are so
or whatever.
many.
Yeah. And so I was telling Tina, I reuse some of my glass and plastic, like I've got a cream soda jar. Yeah, just an old oil, whatever. And that's how I propagate my plants. So I feel like, again, being that like creative problem solving, like what else can I use this for? What else can I do with it? So,
and when you're reusing things like this is what I find. Okay, this is just money in my pocket when I get to reuse it that we can do things.
Yeah.
I mean, we prefer to spend
That's
our
right.
money on fun experiences
Right.
rather than things.
Right.
And this helps us, and it all adds up.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, that's a great start. We're going to pause here, and for you guys, you'll see us in 2 weeks, but we are just going to continue on. Thanks for joining us on our journey to, I don't know, sustainability.
Yeah.
And more eco-friendly routes. And
there might be, even if there's one thing that resonates with someone, I mean, I feel like that's all Friends Speaking Freely is trying to do when we try to educate about whatever, if it's a political thing or how we spend our money, how we spend our time, or being sustainable.
Yeah, just one thing that you can take away.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Bye, guys.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.